Why do I believe that Pope Francis is a usurper? I don't know if Pope Francis is the anti-pope or the false prophet, but I do know that he is usurping the church. I know that. So he is a usurper by definition of what a usurper is. I do not know if he is the usurper, but he is clearly a usurper. And here are the reasons that I have listed. He promotes homosexuality in the church, says that all people, has pretty much opened the doorway for people just to receive communion, whether they're Catholic or not, or whether they are even, associated with Christianity almost, okay? Divorced, and he comes along and he changes that divorced and remarried Catholics can receive communion under special circumstances, even though they are living in what was always acknowledged as a state of sin. He made a bad deal with the Chinese communists, almost completely destroying the underground church in China. Allowing the Chinese Communist Party to approve of the bishops that he chooses to be there? That's insane. And when Cardinal Zen came to see him at the Vatican, he was not received. But Father James Martin, who's promoting same-sex marriage and things like that, is received. He receives many of these extremely liberal people that have ideas that are outside of the teachings of the Catholic Church, and he receives them, but he cancels those that teach the traditional understanding of the Catholic faith. And I don't mean tradition as in the old way of doing things. I mean what was handed down and been passed on for 2,000 years. It's called the deposit of faith. In that, Pope Francis is a usurper, okay? He acts like a communist dictator, a hatchet man. He goes around canceling good people like Father Frank Pavone, who's fighting for the unborn. He cancels Father James Altman, who's trying to preach the truth of the gospel. He cancels Bishop Strickland. He cancels my bishop, who was reminiscent of a great leader in the church, like St. John Paul II. I saw St. John Paul II in San Antonio, many years ago. That was a holy man. If you think that Pope Francis is a holy man, you're crazy. He is nothing like John Paul II, nothing like Bishop Strickland or Cardinal Burke, who he threw out of the Vatican. And the list of people he has canceled is beyond your imagination. And then he goes into the Pontifical Academy, all right? He goes into the Science Academy, okay? And he appoints people who are for abortion into high places in the scientific thing, and they're into population control. So we have a pope that is into population control, So then he downplays abortion. When did we ever have a pope that downplayed the seriousness of abortion? I do not know what Pope Francis is. I think he is something very bad. Is he a usurper? I agree with Father John Mary and the community at Canyon Lake in Texas. I don't know if he is the usurper, but he's a usurper. All right? He's counteracting and undermining the church. That's what he is doing. And if you don't think that's what he's doing, all you need to do is look at what he is doing and stop saying, he's the Pope, he's the Pope, he's the Pope. Is he? Maybe he's not. Maybe there's something else going on here, because he isn't acting like any pope ever. And that's not a good thing, because Christ handed down a church. The church has been handed down for 2,000 years. It is on a solid foundation. Is he the usurper? This is Thomas the Hermit. Say a prayer for me. I'm saying a prayer for you. And I think that he is a usurper. Bergoglio is a usurper. That's what I stand by. That's what I live by. Have a very blessed day in the name of Jesus Christ.